Hello, my name is Jayapalashri and I'm a healer. I have been passionate about this field and that's the reason I've been here. I have, I haven't advertised or done anything. It's just been a steady flow of clientele through referrals, and I do two different kind of healing techniques. One is magnified healing, and one is shamanism. Through that, I have healed a lot of clients with various issues. And what else you would want to say? I'm from Bangalore, and I'm blessed with two boys who are studying in Bangalore. Being a mother, I know the ups and downs and how difficult it is. So I reach out to a lot of fellow parents to give them help and guidance, so they know how to move forward in taking care and moving on in life.
Coming to depression.
Yeah.
What are the major causes of depression and how do those causes lead a person?
Depression is a vast topic if we have to actually look at it as a topic, but in that, some of the common causes which I would like to highlight is chronic illnesses, and then you have heavy medication which could lead to severe depression, and then for women you have your postnatal, premenstrual, and something like premenopausal, which could also lead to depression. Harsh diets, and for college kids, school kids, its self-esteem and lack of self-confidence could lead to severe depression. Repeated failures, rejection, and pressure, stress. These are some of the common factors. And of course, the main one of the factor could be your grief and loss of loved ones, which could put you wouldn't realize when you would get into it. And depression is such a thing that sometimes you may just get into it and not realize, and at sometimes you kind of slip into it gradually. And you are in a state of denial and you don't realize you've got into that state of affairs.
So is today's society more prone to depression?
Unfortunately, yes, it is more prone to the depression. The reason being, once upon a time we were all joint family and we had uncles and aunts and grandparents, cousins to run to and talk to. But today we are all nuclear families, and in our own nuclear family we are cocoons within ourselves. We are stuck in our own this thing. Parents are busy with work and pressure. Children are busy with their school projects, tuitions, and whatever the passionate hobbies they have. So between this, they don't have time, and somewhere the communication is lapsed, which is one of the major reasons, because we are not there for each other, and you won't realize when one of your family members actually slipping into depression. So today's society is more vulnerable to it. That would be more. Loneliness is one of the. So loneliness is like a chicken and egg story. Loneliness can lead to depression, and a depressed person is lonely. So it's kind of connected in its own ways. It can be a subject by itself when we talk about loneliness. But yes, loneliness could be one of the major reasons.
Are peer pressure and social media somehow aggregating?
Peer pressure and social media, it is like if it's used the right way, you have the right impact. You could use it the right way to do what is needed, but anything in excess obviously has adverse reactions. So similarly today, our peer pressure is going the wrong way because everybody is competing and everybody wants to be number one, which unfortunately everyone cannot be number one, which people are finding it difficult to accept. And in this rat race, everybody is also competing in social media. People want to. There are so many kind of things, whether on Facebook and Insta, they're trying to get so many likes, selfie craze. They want that particular thing to happen. So it's sad, but it's true. But these are also leading the younger generation to get into a depression, because they're looking at the phone and they see that there are no likes, and that puts them into one desperation to get likes. So it's a very sad thing. But
Could you be like, in terms of internet,
sorry.
when you speak about internet, can you tell how that could have even adverse impact? Like if you can explain.
Internet, if it's used the right way, there's a lot of knowledge and information which could be used for an individual's growth. But if it's not used the right way, because you even have a lot of wrong and information on it, and there are a lot of things which children don't need. Even if they're growing up to being young adults and teenagers, they don't need certain things which is there. So those are the things which can play on your mind, which kind of puts you into a craze, and that could have its own reaction and own kind of every reaction has its equal and opposite reaction, so that's how it kind of happens. So
what are some classic behavior traits of a person?
a person in depression, some of the classic things is, first is they're anxiety prone, they're very anxious, very fidgety, and they lose appetite, and they get kind of recluse, and they start isolating themselves in the family, in the society, among your peers, everywhere. You just kind of are just kind of coming out. You don't want to be part of anything, and then you start losing your self-confidence, self-esteem. Then you feel you're not worthy of anything, and slowly you get into your own little nutshell, and then it kind of gets to extreme measures. And if you don't get it checked the right time, they can sink in deeper and deeper, and then they could move towards alcoholism, drugs. I'm not saying everyone will, but chances are there. And of course, the extreme cases where, like a child fails because of the pressure what's come on them, they kind of go to the extent of committing suicide. But those are the classic traits of depression.
Would you like to say something to parents, partners, or guardians?
What I would like to tell them is that watch out and reach out. It's very important, and do not be in a denial. We are all humans, and we need that little bit of love, appreciation, recognition. And it's okay if someone has wronged, it's okay if someone has failed. You need to understand and support them more than kind of putting them down or saying, oh, you have not done this. And in case a person has reached a point where they are in deep depression, or there is a lot of help out there. You have psychiatrists, you have counselors, and you have healers. So choice is yours, but do reach out and get help for them, because it kind of helps them in the long run. So this is my message to the parents and friends and spouses.
Do you think people who are in depression hesitate to ask for help?
It depends on the individual. If it's a strong individual and they realize that they're getting into depression, they may look out for help and they may come forward saying, I need. But usually, a person doesn't even realize they're in depression, and then before they realize it, they've created a vicious web around themselves, and then loneliness gets in, and then they feel unworthy. So and the trust factor loses. Somewhere everything is lost, and in this process, they just kind of give up, and then they hesitate to come out. So I would look at it that the people in depression, they do not come out easily and ask for help, but the family, friends, they are the ones who need to reach out and help them.
How important is opening up to others when you are in depression?
Reaching out and talking to people is very important, because you need help. It's not that you are wrong. It's not that it's the end. No. Sometimes when you don't know what to do, and sometimes you just need to pour your heart out. So you just need to trust somebody and just pour it out. It's okay. You don't have to worry if they judge you. It's after all your mother, father, husband, wife, or your children, or anyone who you are comfortable with, friends. Whoever you're comfortable with, it's always good to reach out and kind of pour your heart out and say that you're in this state. And if you feel that, or if that other person feels that you need help, there's no harm in getting it, because all of us go through it, as I said earlier. So it's absolutely okay to reach out. It's important that you reach out.
What role does diet and physical exercise?
I would say diet and physical exercise is important for overall well-being. Okay, so whether you're in depression or not in depression, you need it. But today, of course, there is various fads and craze about dieting and exercising and things like that. But what I would say is have soulful eating. Be happy with what you eat. Sometimes because of excessive harsh eating habits where you kind of restrict yourself, you get into a kind of irritability, and you get into depression because you're not kind of losing the required weight, what you need to lose, which puts them into frustration and things like that, unhappiness. But eat right, be happy. And when you exercise, whatever you do, whether you do walking, yoga, or whether you need to, go for a jog or gymming, whatever you do, there are certain chemicals which is released in your brain, like serotonin and so on. Those things help you to have a happy, elated mood, which is very good for your system. So overall, your mental well-being will be excellent. So the lesser chances of you getting into depression. And even if a person is one day low, when you go for an exercise, you automatically kind of boost your thing, so you are back to being normal. So exercise and eating is compulsory and much needed.
Nutrients and
Yes, it's about having the right nutrients and not the junk food, but the right nutrients. Yeah.
does the healing process vary for every individual?
It does.
Set rules where
No. Healing process varies from person to person because no two humans are alike. So each person is different. So depending on what the person needs and depending on what kind of, what is their strength or what kind of healing they can take, depending on that, healing is to be given. So whatever the person's need is, so so we cannot categorize everybody into one category, but we do it individualistically for whatever is needed. It's like a personalized thing for each person.
And finally, if a depressed person is watching this video, what would you tell them?
My message to them is it's not the end of the world. We all go through ups and downs. That all of us have fears, rejections, failures. It is about facing it, accepting it, and moving on in life and loving yourself no matter what happens to you. Always love yourself, and that would help you to move forward, and it would also give you the extra strength and mile to kind of move on in life. Reach out. There is many ways you could reach out for help. If not your friends, if you feel uncomfortable with family, you could directly go to a psychiatrist. There are counselors out there, and again, healers are there. So options are there out today compared to before. So reach out and seek help and look for a better tomorrow. That's my message to them. Thank you.